Muy buenas a todos, soy Rusi y os traigo el capítulo número 47 de Witcher 3 para XboxOne. Y bueno, estamos haciendo el tema del cabaret de Jasker o Dandelion o como le llamen aquí. Así que vamos a coger el viaje rápido y vamos a ir a Novigrado. Novigrado porque es que si no nos vamos a tirar viajando y haciendo movidas de estas pues muchísimo rato. De todas formas, yo creo que voy a utilizar más el viaje rápido de ahora en adelante, porque así ganamos un poquito más de tiempo lo que es al juego y no estamos paseando, porque ya tengo la zona de Novigrado, la tengo ya más que vista. Entonces, a no ser que sea muy cercano, pues lo vamos a utilizar. Bueno, de todas formas haré lo que me salga del pie. Y ya está. ¿Qué más da? Bueno, estamos... Toma ya, chaval. ¿Qué fiesta tenéis aquí? Joder.
Well, well. See, the crew's been hard at work. Not bad.
I love it. Especially the, accoutrements on the wall. What about Rotlick? Did you get the placards?
Rotlick said he'd bring them on his own. Should be here soon.
Great! The best way I can think of to promote the chameleon.
Never mentioned wanting to change the name.
Rosemary and Thyme wasn't all bad, but it conjured images of Temerian cuisine served by waitresses in peasant garb. Chameleon's a lot better for a cabaret, apart from which it emphasizes that the place has undergone a transformation. Just a better ring to it all round.
What about choreography? Prepared anything special for the opening?
We haven't. But Polly has. She's priceless. Came in and brought the girls in line before I could say knickers. Premier will have the audience on their feet, on their knees, both at the same time.
Guess everything's ready. So when's the opening?
Soon. We start our dress rehearsal in an hour. I just need to nip back home for my dress.
Vaya barbas que tengo ya.
Thanks for everything.
Don't mention it.
Seems my cabaret dreams are about to come true. So, around to celebrate? I'm buying.
Why not?
That's my boy. The foreman mentioned he saw you and Priscilla talking.
He's all right.
And she say anything about me?
She said something that made me think she's not entirely normal.
What?
That you're responsible, got your feet planted firmly on the ground.
You're pulling my leg.
Not this time.
Ay, pájaro.
Eating me. How do you manage to get the loan from Sophronia?
Ugh, wasn't easy. She got so excited about our performance, I had to read to her for 4 hours. 4 hours from the cloak and the dagger.
You mean you didn't...
Are you crazy? Who do you think I am?
A ver qué pasa ahora, a ver si vemos ahora la gran inauguración que nos han prometido.
She's late, of course. She knew how important this night was to me.
Of course she did. Probably just making herself gorgeous. Takes time, you know.
So it's true. A woman's vanity knows no bounds.
Master Dandelion! Priscilla, she's
What? Speak, man.
No me digas.
badly, been attacked. They took her to Vulmerius Hospital.
Attacked? She's hurt? Geralt, come with me, please.
Of course, let's go.
¿Qué ha pasado? No me jodas. Yo digo, ya una misión más tranquila, de no tener que ir a otro lado ni nada. Madre mía, madre mía. A lo mejor es una treta de ella para ver lo que siente Jasker.
Priscilla. Is she gonna live?
I'd say that's certain. Her condition's critical but stable. Beg your pardon, but
Al loro.
you are a relative?
Relative? No, a friend. A very close friend.
Dandelion, correct? She uttered the name in her few moments of lucidity. I am Joachim von Gratz, head of surgery. Until recently, a lecturer at Oxenfurt Academy.
Enough of the courtesies. What are her injuries, besides her eye?
A concussion, cranial swelling, incision into her larynx, and scalding inside the throat and esophagus. Clearly someone forced her to imbibe a caustic fluid.
So this was no ordinary attack, no robbery.
Clearly not. It was the act of a demented mind, and not its first.
How can you know that?
I've seen wounds like this. They're not the kind one would forget, don't you agree? In fact, just this week a corpse turned up in the morgue with similar injuries. And no heart.
No heart? You mean that might have happened to Priscilla? Is someone looking into this?
This is Novigrad. Only the innocent burn here.
Geralt, I know I owe you 100 times over, but I need to ask you another favor. Find the bastard who did this. Find him. And kill him.
Don't need any convincing. Come on, Dandelion. Let's think about what we can do.
I would suggest examining the previous victim's corpse. It has yet to be autopsied. Doing so could very well provide some clues. No need to look astonished, gentlemen. As a surgeon, I know the importance of preventive medicine. Rather than wait for this maniac to strike again, I'd prefer to excise him. Not unlike a tumor.
Think they'll let me into the morgue?
By the main entrance, certainly not. But you can also get inside through the sewers.
The sewers. Travel them often, Doctor?
As often as required for, the pursuit of preventive medicine.
Alternative treatments. Aggressive ones, I'm guessing. Interesting.
We can discuss this en route. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Ready and intrigued. I'll get whoever did this, Dandelion. Even if it's Hierarch Hemmelfart himself.
Thanks.
Bueno. Joder. Que se cargan a Priscila ya. La estábamos cogiendo cariño a esta mujer. Y al final se la cepillan, macho. Es que madre mía. Ay.
You lead.
Uy, este tío me da mala espina, ¿eh? El médico este me da un poquito de más rollete.
So, preventive medicine you practice in the sewers. What's that about?
Espera. Que se le ha ido la misión. Se le ha ido la pinza a la misión.
Sewing up drowner victims can grow tedious.
Por aquí suenan cosas.
Draw your weapon.
Excellent fool.
Ven aquí, sumergido. Ven aquí, ahí. A la fuera. Bueno. Hola, qué cabrona. Joder. ¡Hala, fuera! Otra menos. Estoy lleno de sumergidos. Me cago en todo, ¿eh? Joder. Me cago en todo, ¿eh?
How's it look? Give it to me straight, no sugarcoating.
Her wounds will heal, but it's her voice that concerns me. Surely you understand what a terrible blow that would be to a Troberet. Enough to strip her of the will to
O
live.
sea, que no recuperará la voz.
For that.
I fear only your friend Dandelion can be of help on that count.
Qué fuerte, tío.
Take the ladder. This is the place. Come, the quicker we take care of this, the better.
Why? Got somewhere to be?
Someone might disturb us. The coroner, for example. Or Reverend Nathaniel Pastoli. Very well. We seek the corpse of a dwarven woodcarver.
Ahí está el cuerpo.
Human. Wrong body type. Looks like necrophages got to this one.
O sea, que tengo que ir buscando por todas las salas hasta que encontremos... Encontremos la buena, ¿no?
That's gotta be him.
This one's a she. Remember, beards are no indicator of gender amongst dwarves.
¿Es una mujer?
That's gotta be him.
But this one's a she. Remember, beards are no indicator of gender amongst dwarves.
A dwarf, but the hands. Not a carpenter's. A banker's, more likely. Calloused on the fingers, sawdust in the beard, clothes sticky with sap. Must be our dwarf.
Excellent. I trust you don't grow weak in the knees at the sight of blood.
Not a bit. Start the autopsy.
Where?
Let's examine his torso.
What have we here? Deep wound on the left side of his rib cage, and a scar the length of his stomach.
Let's examine the chest wound. Yeah, heart carved out, wound cauterized.
Wait a minute, there's something else.
¡Qué rico!
An egg from an amphibian. A salamander? Scorched but intact.
I attended some lectures in herpetology as a student. Afraid I don't recall any amphibians that would lay eggs in corpses. So either Professor Cochrane was deeply mistaken, or this is our murderer's doing.
Look at the scar. Wounds long and thin, an incision, but the edges are ragged.
Means nothing. Look, no swelling, no bruises. An old injury, perhaps an accident in the workplace.
Open the abdominal cavity.
Due warning, it will stink of rot.
Once fought a Zoogle up to my waist in sewage, so I doubt... Wait. Smells not rot.
Formaldehyde. A medical novelty. Heavily diluted, it's remarkable at preserving organic tissue. In stronger proportions, it's more destructive than acid.
Explains why there's no smell of decay, and why his throat's scalded. Let's look at his head. Hair smells like it's burnt, like he was in a fire.
Notice anything else? That his eyes have been scooped out, for instance?
Those burn marks I see in his eye sockets.
Qué agradable esto que estamos haciendo de CSI.
It seems very fine.
Murderer gouged out his eyes, then put burning coals in the sockets.
So it seems. Looking at the wounds, it appears our woodcarver was still alive when it happened.
Let's examine the mouth. Burns, blisters.
Just like Priscilla's.
See this? Incision made into the voice box.
Indeed, so thin as to be nearly unnoticeable.
A small, extremely sharp instrument. Scalpel.
But why? The wound is too small to bleed, and there are signs of swelling. The murderer... I believe he performed a tracheotomy, so the victim wouldn't die too soon.
Look at his hands. These welts. Rope burns, right? He was tied up.
I'd expect so. No one could sit through such torture unless bound.
Speaking from experience?
Yes, that of a victim. Spent a year in the dungeons of Tretogor. Long story.
Some other time, maybe. See the callus? Our dwarf wore a ring, but someone took it off him. See anything interesting on his legs?
His right foot. The ankle swollen, toenails broken. He clearly kicked something very hard. Right before he kicked the bucket.
Doesn't strike me as the right time for jokes.
Apologies. We surgeons, we've a different sensibility.
Y ahora vamos a preguntarle por los genitales. Que no sé por qué, pero bueno, vamos a preguntarle.
Genitals. We ought to inspect those.
I sincerely doubt they bear any relation to the matter.
We'll see. Pull down his trousers and... shit.
Syphilis, actually. Early stages. No sign of diffusion.
Think there could be a connection?
Only as the killer's potential motivation.
All right. Think I know enough.
Enlighten me, please, because I've still no notion what this is about. What the motive might have been.
It's some kind of sick ritual. You saw it. Burns in the eye sockets, cavity where the heart should be, scalding liquid, all centering on warmth, heat, fire.
A fire eternal.
It's a lead worth following. Any idea what his name was?
Fabian Meyer. And I'm Hubert Reich, the coroner. I've come to perform the autopsy, but I see you've done it for me, Joachim. As always, you interfere where you're neither needed nor wanted, drag others into trouble in the process. Who is this?
A student. Lifelong learner. Got a couple questions for you.
Very well, speak. But be quick. Reverend Nathaniel has come by for an inspection. He'll be here shortly.
You old friends?
Hubert taught me the rudiments of medicine. Long ago.
And not very well. You've still not mastered certain basic principles. For example, that a doctor's role is to treat the ill, not save the world.
You've not changed a bit.
A compliment?
No, a statement of fact. 30 years, and you've not changed a bit.
Woodcarver's body. Where was it found? It's important.
Plan to investigate? Exciting. He died in his workshop south of the market square, just beside the gate to Far Corners. That poor Trebyrans was attacked there. City's abuzz about it. But the woodcarver, Eustace the corpse collector, brought us the body. You should speak to him. Saw him just around the corner near... Oh, greetings, your reverence.
Who are these people? I believe I made it clear no one's to be allowed in under any circumstances.
You did, but they're friends of the deceased. Here to collect the body.
Out of the question. Show them out at once.
As your reverence wishes. Gentlemen, follow me. You shall leave via another route.
Why'd you cover for us?
I was covering my own arse. If Reverend Nathaniel had learned someone had entered the morgue, then cut open a corpse without his permission, I'd be in deep trouble. But you didn't give that a thought, did you, Joachim? As ever. Well, while I don't approve of your willfulness, I also wish to see this murderer hang. So, should I learn anything new related to this case, I will let you know.
Thank you.
Nathaniel. Who is he?
A scoundrel. A rogue. Like every man who wears the robes of the eternal fire.
Most are scoundrels before they ever put on the robes.
True in his case as well. Before he donned the frock, Nathaniel was a torturer. Delighted especially in torturing women. Later, Hierarch Hemmelfart appointed him to oversee the morgue. He deals with the temple guard, supervises cremations, conducts funeral masses in the temple on the Isle, and so forth.
Dream job. Might have told me you know the coroner. We could have skipped the trip through the sewers.
I know him, thus I avoid him. I've said enough on the subject.
Qué majo.
Don't aim to press you.
Thank you. I've nothing to hide. It's just an old wound, unhealed as yet. What will you do now?
Plenty of leads. Woodcarver's workshop, the corpse collector who found him, alley where Priscilla was attacked. Got work to do.
As do I. At the hospital. I must return there. But I shall keep my fingers crossed.
And I'll keep my eye on you.
O sea, sospecho del médico. Pues nada, vámonos por aquí abajo. Vámonos por aquí. Encuentra a usted el recolector de cadáveres. Vamos a hablar con él.
Bloody bandits! Can't go out in the streets no more!
Mr. Father didn't used to kill women.
You will have found the king of beggars.
Vamos a hablar con él.
You, Eustace, the corpse collector?
Aye? How'd you know?
Fourth sense, I think it is. You bring Fabian Meyer's body to the morgue?
Fabian. Oh, yeah, I remember. No eyes, no heart. One of them, right? No purse neither, as I recall.
One of them? So there have been other bodies like that?
Sure have. Beggars, street urchins, and street walkers. One wench so portly, I had to cut her into pieces to fit her in me wheelbarrow. Slippery sow, they called her, on account of her.
Some things are best left unsaid. What happened to the pieces?
What do you mean? Reverend Nathaniel ordered them burned. Every last one. Oh, shame that was.
Shame? Why? Actually, never mind. Another thing that's best left unsaid. You searched Fabian's body?
Well, I cast an eye in his pockets. Made sure nothing went to waste.
I call a spade a spade. You rob corpses.
And I call a prick a prick. It's none of your fucking concern. What, you tax collector? Piss off, mutant.
Talk. What did you find on him?
I had you wish. Triflings, baubles, glass-beaded ring, handful of coins, and a letter. Look, vellum, quality parchment that. I'll wipe off the writing and sell it as new.
That's human skin. Priscilla. Next victim's name. If you'd given this to the right person, she might not have been hurt.
What the fuck do I care what happens to some Priscilla? We short of wenches in this town.
¡Hala!
Ay, fucking hell, what was that for?
For everything.
A tomar por culo. No te jode encima.
What happened here?
Qué cabrón. El recoger cadáveres, tío. Madre mía. ¿Cómo se puede ser tan mamón? Ahora vamos a ver. Vamos a ver dónde fue. Ostras, ¿están en la casa encantada? No. Es que el camino es por otro lado. El camino es por otro lado. Debe ser por aquí.
Anyone home?
Be gone, or I'll sick me hounds on you. Molly, Striga, come!
Relax. I'm here about Fabian Meyer. looking for his killer.
That's altogether different. Sit, you stupid mutts, lie down. Come on then. Slowly now, let's do bite.
Charming as beasts go.
You daft? Even I'm scared of them. A better backing dog than an evil man at your door.
Got someone particular in mind?
Sure as shite. Bugger who did Fabian in. As soon as they'd hauled his corpse off, I ran to a mate who raised his fighting dogs. Bought these 2 mutts. Cost me a chunk of change. But I sleep sound at least.
So who might you be?
The Stiff's brother. Gus is the name. We ran a workshop together. Meyer and Meyer.
What'll it be now? Just Meyer?
Name it. I'll be closing it down now. As soon as I find a buyer for this shack, I'll head on to Mahakam. Be near my family or what's left of it. So, what do you want to know? What can I tell you about Fabian?
Tell me what you know about the murder, in order, in detail.
'Twas like this. Had some work in Oxenford, and I was coming home. Saw a plume of smoke rising over the city. Thought to myself, blast it, gonna miss him burn another hag. But the smoke wasn't coming from Hierarch Square. It was coming from here. See the soot stains? That's where they burned our sculptures. Folk gathered round the blaze and found Fabian here beside it. They'd already loaded him on the cart by the time I arrived.
Talk to your neighbors. They see anything suspicious beforehand? Hear anything?
Claimed not to. But even if they had, they'd not have helped. In Novigrad, folk give bleeding orphans in the street a wide berth so as not to stain their poor lanes. They're killing up some dwarf.
Your brother have any enemies? Anyone dislike him? Threaten him, maybe?
'Twas Fabian who threatened this one last. Oh, you were a good dwarf. Craftsman like no other. But you were an incorrigible whoremonger as well. Whenever we put a bit of coin aside, I'd say, let's buy some tools, quality timber. No, he grabbed the purse and head out whoring. Took to following one in particular. He'd say, 'tis all your fault, dirty bitch, human dish rag, and other obscenities. Don't rightly know what that was about. Maybe he was in love with her.
Know where I can find her, this dish rag?
City cemetery. She died a few days back, quietly in her sleep. Her pont said a fever took her.
Fine, we've talked enough. Need to look around.
Be my guest. Just beware of the dogs.
Los mato, da igual. Toma ya.
Bloodstains.
That's where Fabian lay when they found him.
Statues of the old gods. Nothing but women. Shapely ones. Someone dragged something across the floor. Or dragged it from one wall to the other, repeatedly.
¿Y eso del sermón del ciudadano? Sí, aquí alguien arrastró un cuerpo.
Mind if I go inside the workshop?
I've not even peeked inside since they found Fabian. But I'll open it for you if you want.
Pues abre porque arrastraron ahí un cuerpo. ¿Por qué haces la croqueta?
Stains, but not near enough to say he bled to death. Unless somebody got rid of the blood.
Joder, el enano me está empujando todo el rato. Oye, puto enano. Y esto es lo que pasa. Esto es lo que pasa cuando...
Formaldehyde. Doubt Fabian used it. Furniture got knocked over. This looks like it was kicked.
Bueno, o sea que hay... Pues nada, ahora vamos a ver el callejón donde fue atacada Priscilla, que está justamente aquí. ¿Y qué pasa aquí ahora?
Oi, Witcher! Coroner wants to see you. Been another victim. Told me to say the main door will be open for you. You're to come as soon as you can.
Vale, pero primero quiero ver esto de aquí.
No problem.
Hey, handsome.
A brazier. This time of year? I know that smell. Formaldehyde.
Hey, sis. That him?
How am I to know?
Man's footprint.
Watch him, see what he does.
Murderers, maybe. Weight on his heel. Took a step back. Human. Priscilla's. Come on, come closer.
¿Y vosotros? ¿Pero por qué? Me voy. Joder. No puedo salir. ¿Por qué no puedo salir? ¿Qué?
Okay. Hell down!
¡A que os quemo! Joder. Joder. ¡Hala, ya!
Think you'll gut me too, huh? Up your ass, deviant! Hoes can fight back!
Calm down, I'm not gonna hurt you. What are you doing here?
Getting vengeance. Well, why are you staring? Have you not heard killers always return to the scene of their crime? Me and my brothers are waiting here to give him a warm welcome. For Priscilla. Almost did her in, the whole son.
I know. Here to look for clues and find anyone who might know something.
Fear I can't help you much. But I can tell you what I know.
Priscilla friends.
Hay gente que se está muriendo por ahí atrás.
She saw more than a stupid whore.
Me encantan los fallos de estos juegos. A veces es que son la hostia.
I was looking to give up pouring, pick up a decent trade, but none would take me. Not as a washerwoman, nor a servant, nor a cook. Felt like a leper, I did. But Priscilla, she was different. Agreed to put me in her play, you see. Lots of the other actors, they were afraid on account of her jesting about the eternal fire. Whistling Wendy on stage, can you imagine it? Well, dream's gone now. I'm back to working street corners.
Sorry to hear that.
You could do worse as work goes. Or so I tell myself.
Priscilla wasn't the sole.
Mira cómo se muere la gente por ahí. Se ha quedado bugueado.
Of course I was. This didn't start yesterday. Others have died like this before. Beggars, street girls, orphans. But who'd have a drama concern about them? Human rubbish. It's what the guards call us.
Recall any names?
They didn't have proper ones. Baldy, curly, buns. That's what folk called them. No friends, no families. Their bodies were burned long ago.
Vale, pues ya está.
Take care now. And I got a murderer to catch.
Oh, my head's ringing.
Bueno, por lo menos no me los he cargado. Habla con el forense. Vamos a hablar con el forense. Joder, qué largas son las misiones. O sea, supone que íbamos a hacer una misión para hacer un burdel y al final estamos aquí en medio de un asesinato. Bueno, de varios. La verdad que la cosa está siendo un poco extraña, ¿eh? Vamos al forense. Que ha habido otra víctima.
Geralt, right? I'm glad you're here. Held off on the autopsy till you arrived.
Nice of you, especially given you didn't seem pleased about my previous visit.
Because you came unannounced and in unfortunate company. I also had Reverend Nathaniel to contend with. Our spiritual caretaker has left the city on some important matter, and I know who you are, what drives you. I'm more than happy to aid your investigation.
By the way, you and von Gratz don't exactly get along. Why is that?
I had him sent to prison. You see, Joachim led the student protests in 1242, a senseless and brutal revolt. People were dying, Witcher. Those who rejected liberty, equality, and fraternity would be found in the gutter come morning. Their throats slit from ear to ear with surgical precision. Joachim had been my favorite student, but alas, I had to do something. So I reported him. Then I left the university and found work in the morgue, where none care about my past. Whereas Joachim, oh, fate's ironies. Years later, he was appointed head of the very ward I had founded.
How old's von Gratz? 50? 60?
53, I believe. Why do you ask?
You look a little young to have been his teacher.
Not surprising. For years, I've lived in the cold and dark, breathing the vapors of embalming fluids. In short, working with corpses extends one's life. Music, is it not?
Who's the victim this time?
Joris Aquinas, a lecturer in theology at Oxenfurt Academy. Found this morning at his home on a catafalque made of his books.
Any titles in particular?
It seems all the tomes dealt with the eternal fire. Treatises critical of the faith's doctrines.
Yeah, mortal sin in Novigrad. Not fond of Nathaniel?
Very few people are. He's cruel and capricious. He stormed in here once, grabbed a scalpel I was sterilizing over a burner, sliced my back with it to the bone, because I had forgotten to lock the storeroom. Hard to be fond of someone like that, wouldn't you agree?
Let's start.
Gladly. The wounds conform to the killer's modus operandi. The victim was bound and forced to drink formaldehyde. Next, the killer removed the eyes, placed burning coals in the sockets, then opened the rib cage and... What's this? A parchment. Made of human skin.
A message from the murderer. The name of his next victim. Patricia Vegelbud.
Do you know her?
Yes. Even went to her estate once with... Gotta find her, now.
¡Hala, vámonos! Tengo que ir a la residencia Vegelbud esta. Así que vamos a buscar... Carrera Derby de memoria del gran Erasmus Vegelbud. No. No voy a ir a eso. A ver si hay por aquí un viaje rápido. Va a ser que no. Vamos, corre, corre. Corre, corre. Corre, corre. Vamos, caballo. Mira por dónde se ha metido, macho. Paso de ir a por él. Mira, están dejando pergaminos por el suelo sobre el ciudadano ese enfadado. Ahí está, viaje rápido. Creo que estaba por aquí la... Aquí. Y esta es la madre del que salvamos con Trish Marigold. Marigold. Bueno, tengo que hablar con los guardias.
What do you want?
Need to talk to Patricia Vegelbud.
You think any bum off the street can...
Her life's in danger. Let me in or have her blood on your hands.
If you thought this up, and I'll let you in, I'll throw my arse out the door.
Always thought a guard was supposed to protect his charge, not his ass.
So be it. I'll take you to Lady Vegelbud. Just no trickery.
Pues menos mal. ¡Ey! La puerta ahí, a tope. Somos los fantasmas de la ópera.
Oh, Geralt. What a pleasant surprise.
Not pleasant at all. I gotta see your mother. Her life's in danger.
In danger? Come now. I saw Mother this morning. She seemed sad, true, but in perfect health.
No time to explain. Trust me, please.
I find this all very hard to believe, but you appear to be quite serious. Please, follow me.
Bueno, habréis visto un corte.
Except it's the wrong time of year.
Y es que en esta misión se ha bugueado, se ha quedado así como bugueado. Entonces lo que vamos a hacer, como sé a dónde tengo que ir ya.
A rather serious one. We'd been to Novigrad. Mother had seen the pyres in Hierarch Square, uttered not a word on our way home. She had
La habitación de Priscila está aquí. Y se ha quedado como bugueada la misión.
We need to hurry.
Hear that? Calm and quiet. All seems to be in order.
We should go in, just to be sure.
You're relentless, aren't you? Fine. But wait here, please. Mother's certainly not in the mood for guests.
He ran out the other door. Catch him.
Vaya tela. Y ahora aquí se queda como bugueado la partida porque tenemos que perseguir al asesino.
Spread out. Murderer's still here.
Por ahí ya le he visto por aquí.
There he is. Get him.
¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Ha debido salir por aquí. ¿Dónde está el cabrón? Otra vez. ¿Dónde está el asesino? Otra vez me ha pasado lo mismo. No tengo ni puñetera idea de dónde se ha ido. ¿Que tengo que matar a todos estos? Pues nada, vamos a matarlos. Joder. ¡Hola, hola, hola! ¿Qué ha pasado?
Halt! Or I'll put a bolt between your eyes.
Listen, you got the wrong guy.
Save your trickery. Taking you to the heiress.
Well, killer's already escaped. Lead the way, hero.
Pues antes se había quedado bugueado buscando y no pasaba esto.
Lower that crossbow before you hurt yourself. This man is innocent.
Forgive me. I saw him running. Thought it was the killer fleeing.
I was chasing him, and I'd have caught him if you hadn't gotten in my way.
Out of my sight, at once! Mother! Why did he do this to her? Why?
Because she blasphemed the eternal fire. Only thing that ties her to the other victims. Ingrid, I know this is a hard time for you, but usually the killer leaves a note on the body. A note indicating his next victim. May I?
Very well. But you should be on your own. I do not wish to see her in this state. I do not wish to remember her like that. And let her be the last victim. Please.
Madre mía.
Broken fingernails. She defended herself. Must be why it took him longer, and why he almost got caught. Here it is. Sweet Nettie, crippled Kate's. Growing bolder, not just the name but the place too. Won't get away this time.
Joder, qué cabrón.
Same wounds as the previous victims. Examination would be a waste of time. Gotta get to crippled Kate's, fast.
Bueno. Pues con estos llantos y con esta historia que ha sucedido, seguiremos en busca de asesino en el siguiente capítulo. Así que vamos a dejar aquí el capítulo número 47 de Witcher 3 para Xbox One. Así que si os ha gustado, darle a like, suscribiros, compartir, favoritos, seguidme en Twitter y nos vemos en el próximo. ¡Adiós!